December 27th, 1964, Municipal Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio. Frank Ryan passes against the Baltimore Colts. Gary Collins makes a spectacular catch and goes in for his third touchdown. Final score, Cleveland 27, Baltimore nothing. And the Cleveland Browns are world champions. Launchpad for the 1964 Cleveland season is Washington's D.C. Stadium. The revamped Redskins rock the Browns back on their heels as rookie halfback Charlie Taylor scores on a 17-yard run to give Washington a 10-0 lead in the second quarter. The Browns will have to come from behind, and they begin right here. On a post-pattern pass, Frank Ryan's toss is pulled in by Gary Collins, and the Browns are back in the ball game. After forcing the Skins to punt, the Browns begin another march. A swing pass to Ernie Green goes for a gain of 19 yards. From close range, Jimmy Brown pulls across. Cleveland rallies to take a 13-10 lead at halftime. In the third period, the Ryan to Green swing pass continues to bedevil the Redskins. Green races to the Washington 1. Battering Jim Brown provides the touchdown punch. It's 20-10, Cleveland leading. In the final period, the Browns strive to put the game on ice. Brown romps through the Redskin reservation for 27 yards. Ernie Green deposits the ball in the end zone. Final score, Cleveland 27, Washington 13, and the Browns are off on the winning foot. Cleveland's home opener against St. Louis attracts a crowd of 77,000 as the two preseason Eastern favorites hook up in one of the wildest games of the year. After intercepting a pass, the Cards score on their first scrimmage play. John David Crow takes Charlie Johnson's pass for a touchdown. Jim Bakken kicks off for the Big Red. Walter the Flea Roberts, a scale-sized rookie from San Jose State, races back 60 yards as Cleveland retaliates with rapidity.
Roberts returning the kick.
Roberts' return sets up the first of 4 Lou Groza field goals, and the Browns are on the scoreboard.
Groza's kick is good.
In the second quarter, Ryan seeks out another Cleveland rookie. He's Paul Warfield, and the former Ohio State star tumbles in for his first touchdown as a pro to put the Browns on top 16-13. Coach Blanton Collier knows he has a live one in Warfield. Later, trailing 23-16 in the third period, the Browns are intent on the action. They like what they see here. Big Bill Glass creams Charlie Johnson, and Dick Modzelewski recovers his fumble. Frank Ryan gets the word from his topside advisors and sets out to put it to work. Following instructions to the T, Ryan whistles a pass to Collins, and before you can say touchdown, the game is tied. On the first play of the last period, the tie is shattered. Johnson spots Randall open, and this fine 50-yard maneuver gives St. Louis the upper hand. Cleveland storms back with Frank Ryan leading the attack. the motion is slowed, but there's nothing slow about Ryan's motion. Frank converts a broken pass pattern into a 17-yard gain. Lou Groza's fourth field goal makes him the first player in NFL history to score 1,000 points, and it narrows the St. Louis lead. With 88 seconds to play, fourth down, 19 yards to go, Ryan comes through with his most important completion of the year. Gary Collins grabs it, and it's goal to go. Jim Brown stiff arms Jerry Stovall and outflanks Pat Fisher for a touchdown. The Browns have beaten the clock to lead 33-30. Municipal Stadium rings with approval. Just 7 seconds are left as Jim Bakken scores his fourth field goal of the game to cap a wild score-a-thon. The Browns' feelings are best illustrated by Lou Groza, but the tie is better than a loss. Franklin Field in Philadelphia bulges as a standing room crowd of 61,000 flock to see if the Eagles can derail the Cleveland Pennant Express. Quarterback Frank Ryan, enjoying the confidence of the Cleveland coaches, is off to the finest start of his 7-year career. Cleveland receives the opening kickoff and begins an immediate march. The payoff play features Ernie Green. Green makes the Browns fans bright and Eagles fans blue as he sprints to a 37-yard touchdown. After 3 minutes of play, the Browns are in front by 7 points. Ollie Matson is the featured performer in a Philadelphia rally. The veteran NFL back breaks free on one of his famous runs to spark the Eagles to a 13-7 halftime advantage. The second half tells a different tale. Ryan instigates a point parade with a scoring pass to Warfield. For the third successive week, the Browns have had to come from behind, and they've done it. A few minutes later, Ryan comes right back with a 40-yard beauty to Jim Brown for a touchdown and a 21-13 lead. In the closing quarter, Norman Snead runs afoul of the Cleveland defense. Ross Buechner filches the pass and puts on a fancy display of footwork. Ross runs by the injured Bob Brown. Gets a great block from Jim Houston. And goes 64 yards to the Philadelphia 18. Ryan's third touchdown pass, this one to Gary Collins, wraps up the victory, and the Browns remain tied with St. Louis for the Eastern Conference lead. The unbeaten Browns return home to meet the Dallas Cowboys. One thing is certain, Paul Warfield, their top draft selection, has earned his spurs in the NFL. The slow-motion camera documents the Browns' third-quarter exploits. With excellent blocking from center John Morrow and guards Gene Hickerson and John Wooten, Frank Ryan throws to Paul Warfield to give Cleveland a 20-6 bulge. This is the first game in which the Browns have led all the way. In the final quarter, we see Frank Ryan throwing his 9th touchdown pass of the season. Gary Collins shatters a Cleveland record by catching a touchdown pass in his 6th consecutive game to pace the Browns to a convincing 27-6 conquest. After a loss to Pittsburgh, the Browns go to the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, seeking to regain their winning momentum against the Cowboys. On the game's first play from scrimmage, Jim Brown takes off on his longest run of the year. It covers 71 yards, helps Jim pass the Cowboys' Don Perkins as the league's leading rusher, and gets Cleveland off to a quick lead. It's 13-6 Cleveland in the third quarter as Gary Collins punts for the Browns. Rookie Mel Renfro, the Dallas defensive dandy, returns 51 yards before Collins, the last man, stops him. Renfro's runback sets up a field goal as Dallas closes the gap. The Cowboys saddle up again with Don Meredith pacing the attack. Frank Clark takes the pass, and Dallas takes the lead, 16-13. In the final period, Meredith attempts to surprise the Browns with a first down pass. There's a surprise in store, but Dallas gets it. Bernie Parrish picks off the pass and returns 54 yards to tally the winning touchdown. Again, Cleveland exhibits its clutch touch by rallying to win another. 81,050 fans welcome the Browns home and swell the attendance mark close to 400,000 for 5 home dates as the Eastern co-leaders meet the New York Giants. The Brown-Giant series stands at 14 victories each with 2 ties. The Giants lead in the second period when Don Chandler punts. Leroy Kelly, rookie halfback from Morgan State, jars the Giants with a rapid run back for a 68-yard touchdown. The resilient Browns have bounced back again to assume a narrow edge. In the third quarter, despite a pulled hamstring, Warfield beats Dick Lynch, slanting through the middle for a touchdown. And the Browns hold sway 14-6. At the shaded end of the stadium, the old bald eagle, Yelverton Abraham Tittle, cranks up his aging bones for a New York touchdown. The Browns lead 14-13. In the final period, the Giants suddenly find nothing but trouble. It begins when Bill Glass trips up Dick James, causing a fumble. Paul Wiggin recovers it in the end zone for a Cleveland TD and a 21-13 spread. Tittle attempts to pass the Giants into contention, but Yat's toss is a total loss as Jim Houston intercepts. Houston gets his 240-pound frame under a head of steam and storms to the New York 30. Gary Collins, also hobbled by a hamstring pull, manages to snare a Frank Ryan touchdown pass as Cleveland commences to run away from the Giants.
Touchdown from Ryan to Collins.
As Lou Groza kicks off, the situation for New York goes from grim to unbearable. Clarence Childs is hung up by Tom Hutchinson and Leroy Kelly. Childs fumbles. Charlie Scales recovers, and Cleveland has its third touchdown in less than 5 minutes. Jim Nanowski adds icing to the cake with a scoring shot to Johnny Brewer. The Browns whip their traditional rivals 42-20 to take over the Eastern leadership. At Pittsburgh, the Browns hope to avenge their only defeat of the season by downing the Steelers. Jim Brown, en route to his 7th ground-gaining title, can become the first player in history to gain over 10,000 yards. Brown, along with Ernie Green, gives Cleveland the top 1-2 rushing punch in the NFL. The slow-motion camera captures one of the most startling plays of the year. Frank Ryan goes to Paul Warfield with the long bomb. The bomb is a dud, but the explosion speaks for itself. Undismayed by the temporary setback, Ryan returns to the firing line. He hits rookie Clifton the Stick McNeil for a touchdown, and the Browns are rolling to another win. A third period tie is smashed by Ernie Green, who powers over to put the Browns back in front. In the fourth quarter, Cleveland's 1-2 rushing punch steps to the fore. Jim Brown, enjoying his third 100-yard-plus game of the year, stuns the Steelers with a 28-yard gainer. Ernie Green continues the double-time tempo by tearing off a 14-yard touchdown to pace the Browns to a 30-17 triumph. Enjoying a 2-game Eastern Conference lead, the Browns return home to tackle the Redskins. The Skins have won 2 in a row, the Browns 3 in a row, and somebody's streak figures to stop. It's 3-0 Washington in the second period, but the lead is short-lived. Ernie Green, behind precision blocking, sweeps to a 21-yard touchdown as the rebounding Browns take the advantage. That's Pat Richter punting for the Redskins. And this is Leroy Kelly returning for the Browns. Kelly runs it back 42 yards to set up a Lou Groza field goal and a 10-3 margin for Cleveland. In the third quarter, our end zone camera records the exciting action as Sonny Jurgensen passes for the Skins. The intended receiver is Preston Carpenter, but he never gets a chance. Larry Benz wrecks the Redskins with a big interception. Benz shifts into overdrive and returns 45 yards to the Washington 19. In slow motion, you're watching Jimmy Brown throw his only pass of the year. Off a play pass action, Brown arches the ball to Gary Collins for a touchdown. The Redskins take to the warpath as Jurgensen teams with speedy Bobby Mitchell for a Washington touchdown. Frank Ryan replies with Cleveland's longest scoring pass of the season. It sails 62 yards to Warfield as the Browns down Washington 34-24. On Sunday, November 15th, the largest crowd of the NFL season, 83,064 people filed into Municipal Stadium for Cleveland's key interconference game with the Detroit Lions. This is Cleveland's fourth crowd of more than 80,000 for 1964. The Browns have never defeated the Lions in regular season play, and this game looms as a large one. Linebacker Vince Costello is keyed for a peak performance, as is Cleveland captain Galen Fiss. From the opening kickoff, the Browns surge to a touchdown, with Jimmy Brown crashing over from the 7 to give Cleveland a fast advantage. Detroit lashes back in stunning style. Milt Plum passes to Danny Lewis, who beats the Cleveland zone, and he's in the clear. Lewis legs it 92 yards, and when the Lions score again to go ahead 14-7, Municipal Stadium is about as lively as a wake. In the second quarter, the Lions are caged deep in their own territory. Tom Watkins fumbles a handoff, and Paul Wiggin recovers to give Cleveland possession on the Detroit 2. Jim Brown lays the Lions low as he booms in for a touchdown. But Detroit comes back quickly to score for a halftime lead. In the third period, Cleveland comes on strong. Ryan pegs to Warfield, who beats Dick LeBeau for a touchdown, as the Browns come from behind for the umpteenth time. In the final quarter, the Browns send the packed house home happy. Sonny Gibbs passes for Detroit, but Walter Beach receives for Cleveland. Beach picks up speed like the Super Chief. Jim Houston wipes out Darrell Sanders, and Walter returns 65 thrilling yards to wrap up Cleveland's most satisfying win, a 37-21 victory over the Detroit Lions. After dropping the squeaker to Green Bay, the Browns conclude their home season against Philadelphia. Another capacity crowd pushes attendance for 8 home dates to 633,000. Johnny Brewer, Cleveland's classy tight end, is ready for a big day. The game begins with Groza kicking off. In a football version of a greased pig race, the elusive ball pops into and out of one bosom after another. Roger Scholes finally recovers the Cleveland kickoff for a Cleveland touchdown. In the second period, rookie end Sidney Williams blocks a Sam Baker boot and recovers it for another Cleveland TD as the Browns boost their lead 14-3. Just 20 seconds later, we find King Hill passing for Philadelphia, but King is dethroned by Jim Houston. Big Jim makes like a scat back and goes all the way. The defense provides Cleveland with its entire first half point production. The heretofore Silent Eagle offense makes a mild rumble in the third quarter with Tim Brown scoring on a 20-yard run. Frank Ryan gets that touchdown right back as he passes to Johnny Brewer for a Cleveland counter.
Ryan passing complete to Brewer.
The Browns sweep the season series with Philadelphia as Ryan teams with Brewer again for a fourth quarter touchdown to cap a 38-24 Cleveland victory. The Browns can clinch the conference crown in St. Louis if they tie or defeat the Cardinals. The Cards must win to retain even the remotest title hopes. 7-year defensive veteran Bill Glass hopes the Browns can win it here. In the opening period, things appear to favor the visitors. Charlie Johnson's pass is intercepted by Parrish. Bernie shuffles through the Cards, and Cleveland owns the ball at the St. Louis 32. A field goal from the 22 by Groza gives the Browns a 3-0 lead. Second period highlights find the Redbirds on the rebound. Charlie Johnson heaves. Joe Childress receives. And Cleveland grieves as St. Louis moves ahead. Johnson returns to haunt the Browns. Bobby Joe Conrad tucks in his touchdown toss, and at the half, the Browns are down 21-6. In the last quarter, the Browns bid to close the gap. Ryan hits Warfield for a first down on the St. Louis 35. The final word in a losing effort belongs to the Browns. Frank Ryan gives the slip to the Cards and fires goalward. Ernie Green makes a remarkable catch, but the day belongs to the Cardinals, who keep their title hopes alive by upsetting the Browns 28-19. After 13 weeks of fierce football, the final game will decide the Eastern Conference Championship. The Browns must beat the Giants. Defeat could spell disaster. Y.A. Tittle, playing the final game of a brilliant career, puts the Giants on top 7-3 with a touchdown pass to Dick James. Frank Ryan engineers a Cleveland comeback. He ducks through the middle of the Giant line and just makes it into the end zone. It's a touchdown, and the Browns are in front 10-7. Ryan converts an interception into a touchdown with his favored post-pattern pass to Collins for a 10-point bulge. Another interception returns the ball to the Browns, and Ryan returns to the air. Paul Warfield snatches the ball away from two New Yorkers, and at the half, the Browns have built a 24-7 lead. Cleveland receives the second half kickoff and hits the touchdown trail. The payoff play is this Frank Ryan to Ernie Green pass, which gives the Browns more breathing room at 31-7. With 1,446 yards gained for the season, Jim Brown wins his 7th ground-gaining crown and starts still another Cleveland drive. Ryan's 5th touchdown pass of the game and his 25th of the year goes to Warfield, and Cleveland is home free. Jim Nanowski and Walter Roberts conclude Cleveland's largest point production since 1954, as the Browns inundate New York with 52 points to win their first conference championship since 1957. The 32nd National Football League Championship game pits the Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Colts. As Municipal Stadium is made ready for the historic battle, let's examine some facts. The Colts are the 3rd highest scoring team in league history. In 1964, they led the NFL in both scoring and total offense. The Browns may match Baltimore's offensive firepower, but still, they are overwhelming underdogs. $79,544 fans are not convinced. The Browns, too, are unawed. Defensive back Larry Benz appears calmly confident, as does all-pro offensive tackle Dick Shafrath. After all, upsets are not foreign to the NFL. Cleveland defense dominates the first half action. The slow-motion camera illustrates a high point in the first half. Baltimore's John Unitas throws a screen pass to Lenny Moore. Moore is well escorted by blockers. Cleveland linebacker Galen Fiss blows through the defenders and bowls over Moore like a 10-pin. The first half ends in a scoreless tie. In the third period, Cleveland gets moving. Frank Ryan's screen pass is taken by Jim Brown to the Baltimore 37, and the Browns are within field goal range. Lou Groza, assisted by a 25-mile-an-hour wind, kicks a 43-yard field goal to give the underdog Browns a 3-point edge. This is Groza's 8th title game, which ties a record, and his 7th field goal sets another record.
Groza's kick is good.
After forcing Baltimore to punt, the Browns attack from their double wing formation. With superb blocking by Monty Clark and Gene Hickerson, Jim Brown bolts through the Colts for a gain of 46 yards.
Brown, the ball carrier.
On the following play, Ryan goes to the post pattern pass, which worked all season long. It works again, with Gary Collins making a touchdown reception to put the Browns on top by 10.
Touchdown from Ryan to Collins.
The defense stops Baltimore again, but nobody is stopping the Browns. Ryan finds Collins as free as a bird. He wings him with another touchdown, and the Browns own a startling 17-point advantage. Cleveland regains possession, and Jim Brown gains the yards, 23 of them to be precise, as he overpowers the Colts for a first down at the 14.
Brown, the ball carrier.
The quarter ends, but the Cleveland momentum does not. It carries into the final period with Ryan zipping a pass to Warfield on the Baltimore 1. Jim Brown tries for the touchdown. The slow motion camera reveals cause for argument. The debate is Cleveland's only loss of the day, as the officials rule that Brown did not score. With a field goal, Lou Groza scores his 49th point in championship play, a league record. The Browns lead 20-0, and Cleveland is grateful.
Groza's kick is good.
More defensive heroics. John Unitas, in the most frustrating performance of his career, is pinned to the turf by young Jim Kanicki, who came of age in his first exposure to championship play. The scene is set for the play of the day. Frank Ryan caps a glittering performance with a towering pass. Bobby Boyd sticks to Gary Collins like a wet shirt, but the lanky flanker makes an impossible catch for an implausible finish to an unbelievable game. The Browns have accomplished what the experts said could not be done. They beat and shut out the Baltimore Colts 27-0. The finest all-around effort in the club's history makes the Cleveland Browns worthy wearers of football's World's Championship.